An astronomer gets blacklisted from conferences for publishing peer-reviewed research. An ocean explorer's equipment systematically failed when investigating a 60-meter underwater anomaly. A decorated military pilot reveals classified retrieval operations of non-human craft. What connects these three stories is not just extraordinary evidence, but the organized resistance to investigate it. As always, I'm here to report information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find all the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey ufologers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates.
I got lots of flack. They put my name up with my face and say she participates in rape culture. They stopped me from coming from conferences. Neither SETI.
So you're blacklisted. So I was going to say you couldn't get a new somebody from SETI to come.
No, so they don't even comment. I don't even get feedback from astronomers. They are so scared of associating with me.
That was astronomer Beatrice Villarroel on the Dennis World podcast, whose crime was collaborating with exoplanet pioneer Jeffrey Marcy on research that found statistical correlations between UFO reports and anomalous objects in the 1950s sky surveys. Her academic exile reveals how institutional science handles inconvenient discoveries. And Beatrice's research should have made headlines in astronomy journals. Her team analyzed over 100,000 transient objects in pre-satellite photographic plates and discovered they appeared on July 19th and July 27th of 1952, precisely matching the dates of radar-confirmed UFO activity over Washington, D.C., with a probability of 0.0001%, and this could occur by chance.
Our best cases are from the 2 weekends of the Washington 1952 UFO flap, which is the most famous UFO mass sighting. So then once we saw that, and we started thinking, oh my God, what is really happening here in the data? And we can then also see that there's a temporal correlation between these little dots that look just like stars and have same star-like brightness profiles, and these what's called no, please remind me, UFO events. That you have a temporal correlation between these, but also temporal correlation between these transients and atomic bomb tests, and a correlation between atomic bomb tests and UFO events.
Even more significant, her data shows transients were 45% more likely within 1 day of nuclear testing, with each additional UAP report correlating with an 8.5% increase in transient detection. And these objects systematically avoid Earth's shadow zone, behavior impossible for random plate defects, but consistent with objects reflecting sunlight from orbital positions. Instead of scientific discussion, Beatrice faced professional destruction. The SETI Institute and the Breakthrough Listen program withdrew support. Conferences refused her attendance, and the suppression extended historically. Donald Menzel, Harvard Observatory director and UFO skeptic, allegedly destroyed portions of photographic plates collections back in 1952 and halted sky surveys for 15 years during peak anomalous activity. Why would established institutions work so hard to suppress peer-reviewed astronomical research? What might they be afraid of discovering? Then you have Dennis Asberg's 2011 discovery adds physical evidence to the scientific data. The Baltic Sea anomaly, a 60-meter circular object 91 meters underwater, consistently disables modern equipment when investigating teams' position directly above it.
And began to search for the multi-beam we searched with first. He said to me, Dennis, yeah, we have problems with the GPS. Oh, you mean it?
Yeah.
Yep. And then we are over the object.
The interference pattern is comprehensive and it's repeatable. GPS systems fail, cameras shut down, lights malfunction, and radar shows phantom contacts. During the 2012 investigations, 6 NATO ships appeared in the vicinity, and Dennis's team was required to hand over all findings to Swedish military authorities. Sub-bottom profiling reveals the objects sit separately on the seafloor with internal corridors visible on sonar, rectangular structures inconsistent with natural geological formation. The precision suggests engineering rather than random deposition. Jake Barber's military testimony provides the context for why such suppression might exist. The 30-year Air Force veteran, whose credentials are verified by 3 special operations soldiers and backed by Colonel John Blitch, describes helicopter-assisted retrievals of craft later confirmed by government task force members as non-human technology.
It was a highly sensitive operation that turned out to be a crash retrieval of a non-human craft, and that was the egg, which literally looked like an egg, like a chicken egg, except it was shiny, and it was on the ground when I got there. So my primary role in crash retrievals is that of a helicopter pilot. So I was operating a helicopter that night when I got dispatched to retrieve the egg.
But Barber's account goes beyond hardware recovery into consciousness interaction.
I get closer to the object, I ended up getting an overwhelming sense of like I was possessed by something. And
it just come like that.
Yeah, well, it came on pretty strong. It felt like, I've explained before, like a heartburn, like it swole up inside of me, but it was emotional. And the closer I got to the object, it intensified. And by the time I was over the object, flying, trying to lift it off the ground, I was in tears. I didn't know if I thought maybe someone had drugged me, or I was having an emotional breakdown of some kind from just stress, cortisol. And it took everything I got to fly and pick this load up and fly away.
During retrieval of an 8-section disc, Barber experienced what he describes as direct consciousness interface, an overwhelming spiritual connection that continues to influence his decisions. And he also reports electromagnetic effects identical to those Dennis encountered: helicopter systems freezing mid-flight despite engines running, GPS failures, and radar jamming during close UFO encounters.
And it froze our helicopter in broad daylight.
Oh my God, what happens then?
Well, so the blades are turning, the engine's running, but we couldn't move. So the helicopter got up, GPS gauges, we have it on video. Everything starts going haywire inside the helicopter, and it's aerodynamically, it just felt like it wouldn't move. So it was about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of this. We tried to climb, tried to go forward, left, right, descend, couldn't. Eventually, we were able to back away from it and retreat. It was like, don't come any closer. And then on the ground, our guys' all compasses were tumbling, and our radar was being jammed.
What makes this Stockholm conversation significant is 3 individuals comparing notes across disciplines. They are discovering their independent investigations point to the same conclusion: structured objects exhibiting advanced capabilities that have been present in Earth's vicinity for decades, possibly even longer. The academic suppression, military classification, and equipment interference creates a pattern of active concealment rather than passive ignorance. When SETI researchers get blacklisted for publishing correlations, with NATO ships monitor underwater investigations, when military pilots report identical electromagnetic effects across different encounters, the coordination suggests institutional knowledge of these phenomena. If institutional suppression is this organized, what do you think they already know that we do not? What would justify such extensive efforts to prevent investigations? The resistance these individuals face may indicate we are approaching discoveries that fundamentally challenge established paradigms about consciousness, energy, and humanity's place in a larger context. As Dennis notes about future expeditions, whatever the truth proves to be, it is guaranteed to not be a boring outcome. I'm Cristina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the notification bell as I do daily UFO news and updates. Fresh UAP stories, government disclosures, and breaking developments land here every single day.